Let's shift to baseball because I know you above all else as an Angels fan. And I love seeing you at the Coliseum, which is always fun.
Yes.
But this off season, the Angels will
Not as fun.
not as fun. No
No.
longer possess the name of Shohei Ohtani. But how did you feel? Did you think it was going to be any sort of a possibility that he would return to the Halos?
Well, I gotta say this. Seeing Shohei Ohtani in a Dodger uniform didn't bother me as much as I thought it would, but seeing Ipe in Dodger gear killed me.
Mm,
That's the one that really that's the one that's like, because Dodger fans don't deserve Ipe. They just don't. And it bothers me. And I even said this to Marcus Grant, who and Marcus Grant's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Of course, like you're a Dodger fan. You wouldn't know anything about baseball." Like, of course, like Dodger fans are like, "Who's Ipe? What do you mean?" I'm like, "His translator, the
yeah.
guy who's always by his side, the guy who finally waved at my daughter." So for the last number of years, that's the one thing about Shohei leaving. And my daughter found out, and she's not happy about it, but it's okay. The one thing that I can say throughout this whole thing is that I have no regrets on any. I don't remember the last time I missed one of his home pitching appearances. My daughter and I, and eventually my son started to come along too, would always go. We would buy tickets in the bullpen and right above the bullpen, excuse me. And the funny thing is, I posted a photo of my daughter in her Ohtani jersey from behind the bullpen, and this idiot is all like, "Nice seats," and I'm like, "Do you understand that we're there early enough to
Yeah.
watch? We're 6 feet from the greatest baseball player of all time, watching him do his warm-ups for 45 minutes. Like, you will never get as close to Shohei Ohtani as we were in that moment. Like during the game, like it was okay, but like it is, and it was a cool thing too, because all the Angels pitchers would come out to the bullpen and they would kind of gather around while he was warming up and they would do a thing. And like nobody would look in the crowd because everybody's asking for baseballs. But one time, Patrick Sandoval finally looked at my daughter. It's like my 7-year, now she's 8, but she's like, "My 7-year-old just wants a wave, Patrick. She doesn't want a ball. Can you just wave at her?" And he looked up, gave a quick wave, and then
Aw.
went about his business. And Ipe wouldn't crack, but that's okay.
Mhm.
I did make him bust up one time, the last time I was in the Angels clubhouse. So that was fun. But it's so for me, I can say that I was never I got as much out of Shohei Ohtani in his appearances as possible. Didn't miss many of his games, and or didn't I can't remember missing one of his last pitching start. And I know he was hurt at the end of the season, but saw all his last pitching starts. Always made it. It was an appointment thing. My daughter and I went to at least 25 to 30 games a year,
Yeah.
probably more. So it's like I exhausted every part of it. And so if you're celebrating the fact that Shohei Ohtani is at your now part of your team and you don't go to the games, then I feel very bad for you. I did truly believe that Ohtani was going to return. I don't understand that if you're Artie Moreno, who had an opportunity to sell the team, if you were not willing to match the Dodgers offer, then why did you keep the team?
Yeah.
Why are you keeping it then? Or even at least bringing that guy on as a minority partner. Like I think about what happened with Stan Kroenke when the Rams moved. Georgia Frontiere wanted to move to St. Louis, but she had to pay off all the NFL owners. And the only way to do that was to allow Stan Kroenke to be the minority owner. He had a 40% share with the opportunity to buy the full team after her passing. Artie Moreno, whose kids do not want to own the Angels, had the same opportunity to either number one, sell the team, number two, bring on, I think it was the LA Times guy, bring him on as a 49% owner. And then when you're done, you can move on. And then he or she will take over the team and it'll be good. And then we just have an infusion of capital because the Angels need to go back and start reinvesting in the minor league system. They need to reinvest in the stadium. There's a lot of issues that you need an infusion of cash. And I understand that the price tag for Shohei Ohtani seemed daunting, but how much money you were making off this guy.
Yeah.
You know that it's a bargain. That's the one thing about the Dodgers is I think that they got a bargain for $700 million. That's fine. They'll make that money up. It's okay. I don't buy into the the Dodgers are a more no. people in Japan love the Angels. They didn't care. They just love the Angels as much as they love, like, there's not going to be an uptick in, like, it's not like, well, now the only people who care that way are the people in America.
Yeah.
Like in MLB. Cause I honestly believe this is my theory too, is I honestly believe that if Shohei could have picked where he wanted to play, I think he would have been the Angels, who weren't willing to go to 700 million. I feel like MLB wouldn't let him go to Toronto, and they made him go to the Dodgers. Like, you got to go to the Dodgers. Like, nope, we're not. Nope. We're not letting you go out of the country. You got to go to the Dodgers. I will die on that hill. Like, there's no way. Like, he wanted, like, trust me, bro. This is my theory, that he really wanted to go to Toronto, but Major League Baseball is like, nope. You're not getting on
thriving in Toronto. I think he would have thrived in Toronto.
It would have been amazing. Yeah. It would have been great, but MLB doesn't think that way. They're like, we need you in Los Angeles, which is dumb because it's the West Coast.
And it shows how much of an impact he has, like to have a conversation with the league. I mean, we don't really know that this happened, but it just kind of
crazy theory. Yeah.
I love that theory though. But I also, but it was interesting because when Dave Roberts was talking during the winter meetings, this was before the signing, of course, he didn't even touch on the fact of who Ohtani was as a baseball player, but who he just was as a person, a franchise, the makeup of him. He comes as advertised and then some. Like, I've covered so many of his starts at the Coliseum, and people come from all walks just to watch him. And you're right, like, just for his warm-up.
We were there. That his first game as an Angel in Major League Baseball. We were both there at the Coliseum.
Yeah. And just like you said, his warm-ups when he's throwing the ball against the wall, like, that's just like people stop and stare and they cheer for him. And he's so amazing about it all. I know I talked to our front office, and we go up 20 to 25 credentials when he's in town. It's all Japanese media. It's the coolest thing. And everybody's so sweet too.